Let's take a look at Thursday in the NBA. We're streaming. It's an important day. What is happening? Michael Bolton? Got the answers?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and this show is a living, breathing document. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky at joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_Beeble, on TikTok at redrock_Beeble, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers at FanDuel.com can get $200 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Also, check out LockedOnDaily.com and sign up for our free newsletter over there. That is LockedOnDaily.com. Also, double banging over here and thumbing and commenting and all of that stuff. We're looking ahead to Thursday, give you a bit of a leg up in the way that we're going to be planning out the week. This is obviously a streaming day, as every day is for the rest of this week. 5 games on Thursday, so a lower volume day, but there are going to be important things to pay attention to. By the way, I'm sure you've seen this already, but the Utah Jazz have been fined for sitting Larry Markkinen out of at least one game March the 5th, and then other games, which they didn't specify. Yeah, I know. They're going to be, they set him out a million games. We know this. And it's been very obvious for 2-3, this is the third year in a row. And now they drop a $100,000 fine. And I'll be honest with you. If they end up with Cooper Flag, who cares? It's $100,000. It doesn't matter. That is the whole point of this. It doesn't matter. And honestly, I think the Jazz might do it again. I think they trade Lowry in the offseason, potentially. And I think they might do it again. But I don't know. We'll find out. We got, what's this tweet here from Shams talking about LeBron, how he's gone back to Los Angeles per medical recommendation, progressing well, but not staying on the team road trip. Yeah, okay. You can say that's progressing well, but I'd say that's not particularly compelling as an argument, but whatever. That is that. Let's get in and talk about what we need to look at for Thursday. Short and sweet, maybe. Schedule-wise, we know there is no team coming into Thursday on a back-to-back because there is no Wednesday-Thursday back-to-back, but the back-to-backs start up again. And that is with 3 teams going Thursday and Friday. The Lakers, who begin this run of an insane schedule, of course, due to rescheduled games. The Magic and the Kings. So Los Angeles, Orlando, and Sacramento have the Thursday-Friday back-to-back. That's really important for Sacramento and the presence/absence of Demonta Sabonis. It's important for the Lakers a little about whether Jackson Hayes is able to get up for one of those, but more importantly, whether Jared Vanderbilt plays in both. And the last time they had a back-to-back, he did play. So all signs are positive there. Also got to watch on that for Luka, because it is a stretch of a lot of games in a row. Well, not in a row, but a lot of games in a small sequence of time. So I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay at least at the front end of this 6-game in 8-night period where they go 2 off, 2 off, 2. That's a crazy schedule. Back-to-back off, back-to-back off, back-to-back. It's crazy. They're in this massive period. And it is going to cause some issues across the schedule with some guys having some time off, I'm sure. But for now, as they started, I think we're good to avoid that problem. So Lakers, Magic, and Kings have got the back-to-back Thursday to Friday. If you're going to do chunks, which is the rest of this week, plus Monday next week, which is 10 games on, which is largely a streaming day for most. This is more, again, if you feel very confident that you're through this week or you got to buy, or actually not if you got to buy, but if you're not trying to maximize this week, things do change, because I've been on record telling you that after Monday's game, the Bulls played 2 games this week, and you could move off a lot of those guys to use 6 days worth of streams to get 6 games in. But from Thursday to Monday, the Bulls play 3 games, and they're one of the better teams. So that's the difference in how you view, what is your window? What are you actually looking at that determines where the value sits? And the Bulls did it again. I talked about this on the waiver wire show today. They did it again. Hey, yeah, Josh Giddey's going to be out a while. He's out Thursday at least. We'll see. Yeah, it's not good. Doubtful. Ignore the doubtful. There is 0 chance that he plays. 0. They do this 4th or 5th time this season. 0. He will not play. Guaranteed. I don't know why they do it. I have absolutely no idea why they do it. Why they come out and say, yeah, nah, he's out for a while, guys. I guess, and then officially, 25% chance he plays. I guess it just goes in with that horrifically run franchise, that they just will make the worst decisions possible at all times, including misleading injury reports. Anyway, all that's to say that with Giddey out, with Ball out, and they're both doubtful, so they're not playing, Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter jump up. Now, I talked about Jones, and I didn't really talk about Huerter on the waiver wire show, talking about the value of them. For a single-day stream, they're fine. For this chunky stream, which leads into next week, 3 games in 5 nights, that's the most that anyone plays during that time. Actually, that's not true. The Lakers play 4 games in 5 nights. But the Bulls are up the top there. But that's a very different story when we're talking about 2 games in 5 nights this week versus 3 in 5 heading into next week. Keyshawn George is on there. I've got Jared Vanderbilt-Barr on there. I've got Dorian Finney-Smith on there. Dalton Connect was just behind because, again, it's 4 games in 5 nights. Finney-Smith is off the injury report. You could go deeper into Jordan Goodwin or into Trey Jemison, who have both got 9 games left on their 2-way contract. LeBron and Hachimura aren't coming back in this 5-game period either. So it's a 4-game in 5er here for the Lakers. The other one I've got there is the cockroach, Mason Plumlee, because Nick Richards is going to miss at least 1 game here. And Plumlee had already been playing over him. Both Richards, Grayson Allen, and Monte Morris are doubtful on Wednesday, so I don't know that they'll be available on Friday. But the Suns have 3 games in 5 nights, Friday, Sunday, Monday. Plumlee's been getting 26 minutes. We got 25, 24, 20, and 26 the last 4 days. And if Richards is missing this game on Wednesday with ankle soreness, there's a possibility he misses 1 to 2 of the next 3 games, because one of them is a back-to-back. So that elevates Plumlee into that position as well. If we look at 5s and 2s, we haven't had anyone with a 5 or 2 for a while, but the Lakers have it. Like I said, they've got this crazy schedule. They've got 5 games, 7 nights, 4 games, 6 nights. 4 games, 5 nights, actually. So Thursday to Wednesday, the Lakers have 5 games. So your Connects and Vanderbilts, Vincent, Jemison, Goodwin, all these guys have increased value as they dwarf every other team in terms of games played. Key injury statuses. Luka Doncic is on the injury report as questionable for Thursday. I don't really think that there's a risk of him sitting, but obviously we need to be aware of it. Jackson Hayes remains out. The Bucks chucked Dame and Giannis on there as probable, but I don't really think there's any risk of that one. The next one is Noah Clowney, who sprained his other ankle in the last game. He's been okay. It's still probably just deep league stuff at this point, but we watch for him. As I said, Giddey is out and Lonzo is doubtful for the Bulls. The Pelicans ruled Kelly Olynyk out, who rested last game and now is out for personal reasons. So are we doing this again? This is what they did after the trade. And now we're back to... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but that does put Carlo Makovic and Jose Alvarado back on the menu as Pelicans options if Olynyk's going to miss time. And I just don't know. Do they start Bruce Brown again? They possibly could. Yves Missi also questionable. Now, if Missi is out, then we are fully in on Makovic. Missi's been questionable a few times. I don't think he's really missed any games. But he's dealing with an ankle problem. So be aware of that. And then the last game has probably the most questions because Malik Monk returned from the toe injury, went to the locker room, returned but didn't get back into the game. And he said something felt weird. We don't have an update yet on them at this point and his, whether he's going to be available or not. So we just got to watch that. And then Demonta Sabonis, who they said fully practiced. Now, they play a Thursday, Friday back-to-back. It's an early return from a hamstring. There's no chance he plays both of them. But will he play Thursday? Will he play Friday? Would he, God forbid, play both? I don't know. I would say that at most he plays one. And it could be Thursday, it could be Friday. But that's obviously a key status we need to watch. And I'm sure they'll label him questionable, meaning we still have no idea whether he plays Thursday or Friday. The other one is John Kuminga, who we are expecting to be back. Steve Kerr told us that in the foreseeable future he would return and that the foreseeable future would mean Thursday. So we're expecting Kuminga back, but I don't have an official update on that at this point. So nothing official, but we expect it. We'll come back with Points League streaming in a sec. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back and then waiting and wondering and worrying some more. And now, taxes is just as simple as matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so that you can focus on your day. An expert who will find every deduction possible. They'll file every form and every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. All so you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting and no wondering and no worries. Now, this is taxes. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Today's episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. You go to your bank account, you open up the app, and you check it. Bloody hell, what happened? Where's the money? Well, dining out, online shopping, bills, entertainment, subscriptions. It's easy to lose focus. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It isn't just a budgeting app, it's a financial command center, tracking your accounts, your investments, and your spending all in one place, so you can stop just managing your money and start building your wealth. All that convenience right there. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check all of your finances and spending and even plan some of those long-term goals. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That is monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off for your first year. Okay, so let's look at streaming now. Let's look at fantasy points leagues, Yahoo and ESPN. And again today, the Yahoo and ESPN points league stream guys are the same group of players. And we're going to start again with a couple of those Chicago Bulls players. No Lonzo, no Josh Giddey. Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter are going to have to do a lot. Kobe White's obviously doing a lot as well, but these two guys are going to do a lot. The question then becomes, I know people still have questions about Zach Collins. To me, he's a drop easily. And obviously, like, they're playing Thursday, so his 21 minutes might be useful, but he's a drop to me. These guys are where the value can lie on Thursday. Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter. I like Cole Anthony as well as a points league streamer. He's not on the injury report. I do, spoiler alert to the stream plan at the end of the show, I am going to have Cole Anthony as one of the guys. I'm a little worried that maybe one of these injuries crops up on the second night of the back-to-back, but I think given how Atlanta just needs to keep producing, I think he'll be okay, but I'm a bit worried about it. I'll put Justin Champagnie there. Bilal Coulibaly is out, so that means Champagnie will go from being an afterthought into a starter. 30 minutes of Champagnie, and hopefully he shoots better than 25%, should yield a pretty good result. Keyshawn George, just again, still under 30%, needs to be rostered and started in nearly every spot. And this is actually a decent spot, and Matas Buzelis has been an easy drop. The difference between being a drop, whereas I'm talking about a guy that you would consider, hey, should I hold and see what happens? No, if Buzelis is in that sort of area for you, no. Easy drop, don't hold him long term. If you're looking for, hey, what can we do on a Thursday here where there is no Giddey, there is no Ball, and Buzelis might have to do a little bit more, let's do it. Let's try him for this one game. But as a long-term hold, no. They're just not doing enough with him. And it is possible, of course, that like even Patrick Williams ramps up here and kills Buzelis' value. But I think he's worth considering in this spot. Like I've already said, but I will put the screen up there for you, that on ESPN, I'm just going to go with the same names. Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, Cole Anthony, Justin Champagnie, Keyshawn George, and Matas Buzelis across there for ESPN points leagues. If we go to category leagues now, which we will, and look at points and threes for streaming, it is another opportunity to use Kevin Huerter. I do not think that Kevin Huerter is a long-term hold at all. When the schedule makes sense, we do it. But this is a good spot. I also think it's worth looking at with Moses Moody. And now, yes, I know John Kuminga is returning, but Podziemski remains out. And Moody, 14 points, 3 threes. That's not even an outrageous suggestion, I don't think. I think Kuminga, after being out for like 35 games, is probably going to be relatively limited at first. And you're still going to need Moody's shooting. So when Podziemski comes back, I don't think Moody would even register in this area. But he's out, so cool. Let's have a look. I've got Dalton Connect there. That's what he does. He played 41 minutes last game. There's still no Jackson Hayes. The difference here is Dorian Finney-Smith is back. I wonder what they do in that lineup. Does Vincent go to the bench or does Connect go to the bench? I'm not really sure how they're going to run that. But I think irrespective that Connect's going to play enough to be useful here to stream points and threes. Tim Hardaway is just a guy that's available everywhere. Do we like it? Not really. But we know that we can easily get a 15-pointer with 5-3 night out of him. Like, he's got a 28-minute role. That happens every night. We know this. He could have 6 points and 2 threes, which is not ideal, but we know he's going to play. We know his role is to take threes, and we know his role is to score. So desperation, deeper leagues, let's do it. I got Buddy Hield there as well. I hate to do it because I know what Buddy Hield is and I know what the Buddy Hield cycle is. But when we're talking single game streams, we look and go, hey, is there a chance he plays 25? Sure. Let's do it. Let's try it. And then we move on. And the other one there is Bub Carrington, who's not a huge volume player, but again, Bilal being out, he played 31 minutes off the bench. I don't really have the thought that Bub is just a must-hold through everything. But for now, we're in on that, and I think there is some significant value in considering him as a single-game stream here at the very, very least. We're going to talk boards and blocks. We're going to talk assists and steals. We're going to talk streaming plan and percentages as well. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by FanDuel and FanDuel Sportsbook, of course. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you that chance to get in on the action like never before. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That is $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories. Even who is cutting down the nets. Pick the favorites, pick the underdogs, pick your alma mater. That's a real word. Do that. Select who you want. You can do it all on FanDuel, but just make sure that first $5 bet wins, because then you get $200 in bonus bets. So go to FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. All right, let's get through the rest of these category league streaming. We're going to go to assists and steals, and while we just talked about Kevin Huerter as a points and threes guy, let's talk about Trey Jones as an assists and steals guy. 7 assists and 2 steals a possibility? Why not? Could we go 9 assists? Absolutely we could. There is no Josh Giddey. And that means that Kobe White and Trey Jones are realistically the only ball handlers. There's no Lonzo, there's no Dosumu. This is a team that was running 5 point guards, and now they've got 2 left, and one of them just came in on a trade. Yeah, there's Javon Carter and there's old mate legendary tanking stalwart Taylor Horton Tucker, but it's going to be Jones for the largest part of that. Jose Alvarado again gets the boost with Olynyk out. Could he get 25 minutes? Will they start Bruce Brown amazingly ahead of him? Maybe. But 5 assists, 3 steals. That's what Jose does. Kevin Huerter's on there, and might not think that he's a good assist guy, but he's one of those players who hits as a shooting guard small forward, who can get 4 assists, who can sneak a steal in, and that's actually relatively useful. Jared Vanderbilt as well. Not really an assist guy. He's averaging 1.7 assists, but he's a big man, and he does get steals, and he's going to have to play more. And there has been times in Vanderbilt's career where he's been an okay passer, so I'm not going to rule that out. Then we get into a bit of dreggy stuff. Marcus Smart. Yep, okay, he's going to play his 21 minutes. He doesn't do anything apart from assists and steals, so we're good there. And then Champagny is more leaning the steals than the assists, but in 31 minutes, he can trip over into 2 or 3 assists, get 2 or 3 steals, and be okay there. Remembering that assists do become pretty hard to get off the waiver wire at any time of the year, but in particular at this time of year, it does get difficult. Let's transition into the big fellas, the boards and the blocks. And I'm going to put Matas Buzelis up there. That's largely because I feel a bit more confident in his minutes. He is a guy that can have 7 rebounds with 2 blocks. And with the absence of Giddey and Ball, and Giddey's a very good rebounder, that does open up some more stuff for Buzelis to do. And I think that's worth it, just with those minutes. No Olynyk, so Kalo Makovic has to be here. He was very good last game. It won't always be that good, largely because he won't shoot 87%. But there's also the potential that Misi doesn't play. So we're talking 21, 22-minute floor for Makovic, 30-minute ceiling. That's a 50-50 chance of getting there. So I do like that. Justin Champagny, he's more going to be blocks than boards, but he can have 8 rebound games easily. And again, it's about who's got the little bump in minutes here, and it is him. Isaiah Stewart doesn't have that bump in minutes, but he is Shaq's favorite player, so that means something. He gets 20 minutes or so, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, limited upside, solid floor. You just know what you're going to get from Stewart. Goga Badadze has been nerfed completely, but 16 minutes, 4 blocks, is that crazy as a best case? It's not really. It's not crazy. He's not going to play starters minutes unless Wendell gets into foul trouble or injured. But he's just one of those guys, again, that rightfully has been dropped everywhere, as he should be. But now you can use him in little spot situations. And the other guy who's cooking at the moment is Rashawn Holmes. He has never been a high blocks guy, but he's had some really good block games recently. But even in his 21, 22 minutes behind Alex Sarr, he gets like double-doubles regularly. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why there is this Rashawn Holmes resurgence. I don't know why Washington leans into the Rashawn Holmes resurgence, but they do. So he's actually worth using in a lot of different spots. And I just didn't really think we'd ever be saying that. For percentages, Holmes is the field goal percentage guy. He's a highly efficient player, and he's getting enough run and enough usage to make a difference. Dayron Sharp is a good field goal percentage guy, usually. And then Gary Payton, if you're looking for that random guard who's very good at it, he's like a 60% field goal upside player as a guard. And he's had some big games recently, and Pajemski remains out. Now, Kuminga returning hurts him a little bit, but still there's value. For free throws, yeah, Matas Buzelis is a pretty good free throw guy. And volume is important. So, again, being on the court for a decent amount of time, he's worth looking at. Bub Carrington, also pretty good free throw guy. Not as high of a volume player, though. Then when you want to go to lowly rostered guy who probably never misses, that's Jordan Hawkins. You just need to make sure that Hawkins takes a free throw, which, again, the absence of Olynyk, it just gives like 2 to 3 extra minutes to a bunch of different players, and one of those players will be Jordan Hawkins. The last thing I want to look at is the stream plan, because we did the stream plan for 1 slot and for 2 slots this week, which 2 slots was the better option, I believe. But one of the ways to do the 2-slot stream this week was to hit the Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-back, then the Thursday, Friday back-to-back. And the other one was just a 4-game single stream. And on the single slot stream, we're also hitting the back-to-back. So the 2 stream plans we've got rest of week are a Thursday, Friday back-to-back and a Saturday, Sunday back-to-back. So I've got 4 names here we can take a look at, abiding by the rules that I do, where one guy's an under 30% Yahoo guy and the other guy's an under 45% basketball monster player. So the 2 names I'm going to put in to track are going to be Cole Anthony and Dalton Connect. They're going to be the 2 names that I put into track for the streaming plan. Anthony's at 26% and Connect is way under 45% on Basketball Monster. They're the 2 names. There are 2 other names we can look at, Jared Vanderbilt and Keon Ellis. Again, there is a small risk with Vanderbilt that he doesn't play the back-to-back, but he did play their last back-to-back. And Ellis, while he probably will be reduced because Monk likely plays, and Sabonis could play as well, he's available. At minimum, he plays 40 minutes across 2 days. There's only 3 teams, Lakers, Kings, Magic. So he's another option. But the 2 that I'm going to track are going to be Cole Anthony for the back-to-back and Dalton Connect for the back-to-back. Again, with a more readily available guy in Connect and available, but still not as much, Cole Anthony. They're going to be the 2 guys that I track in this spot. And I'm tracking now. That's the end of the show. It is International Riesling Day. I didn't mention that. What's your favorite grape variety? Riesling's one of those ones where at times it can be a little too sweet if it's, I think, made incorrectly, but a good quality Riesling's not too sweet. I love it. It's great. One of our favorite wines in this, not quite our favorite white wine. What's our favorite? Probably, that's a good question. Pinot Gris, not really it. It's a bit too bland. What is our favorite one? Now I've got, what's the name of it off the top of my head? It's Gewitz Traminer. That's it. I'm not sure that it was, if those of you who are German, that's completely incorrect, isn't it? Gewitz Traminer. That's the one. That's probably our go-to white wine grape at the moment. Suave also not bad. Anyway, that's enough white wine talk. Hit the thumb up on the video. Leave your comments down below. Tell me your favorite white wine grape, if you've got one. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.